Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Today we have Michelle Williams on your Love Experience podcast. We're going to dive into a few questions, but first, I want Michelle to welcome herself. How you doing?
Oh, thank you. It's so good to be here and to be talking with you. I know, as we said off the air, we like each other's posts and we comment and all that stuff. So it's good to connect on
Yeah,
this platform.
yeah, it's always good to connect, and we just said that too. We comment, we post here and there, we share stuff, but then it's always to have that really, really good human connection, which we were missing for so long because of COVID and all the things that happened last year. So it's always really, really good to connect with one on one. Thank you so
Hmm.
much, for being here today. You're amazing. I think you know that already, but I felt like I gotta tell you that you're
Thank you.
amazing,
I
right?
appreciate that. Thank you
You're
so
more than,
much. Thank you, man.
but it's not about me. This is not about me. This
Stop
is about
it.
the
Stop it.
love.
And thank you for all that you contribute to us,
You're more
getting
than
us
welcome.
through relationships, whether they're going good or whether it's about heartbreak and
Yeah.
holding ourselves accountable, and so thank you for that. I love your no nonsense approach to some
Yeah, I
things.
mean, I've been through some stuff, we probably going to get into it, but I've been through, a lot of heartbreak back in like about 10, 12 years ago. And it really changed me, my perspective on life and me as a whole, and, only by the grace of God, I'm here today and I'm strong enough to help other people, navigate through those
That's so
difficult times.
good. That's so
So
good.
I've been through it. Trust me. I've been the tears, the ups and downs, the struggling, the crying on the shoulders. I've been through all of that. So
Oh,
I'm just excited to be here today, healed, happy, having my beautiful wife and my daughter.
yes,
It's,
yes, for sure.
it's amazing. Yeah, yeah. So let me just jump right into it, right? So when you hear a love experience, right? People always talk about love experience or how was your love experience? What is the first thing that comes to mind when you hear love experience?
The first thing that comes to mind as it relates to a love experience, well, I mean, it can go many ways. First of all, I think of God's love for me and it's unconditional. When I think of love experience, I think of my mother and dad. They were together 46 years before he passed away this past December. And so you talk about seeing them in the good times and the bad times. A love experience. You just don't love a person when things are going good. You're able to love a person when things are going bad. Well, it now it kind of depends. When see with my parents, covenant had been made. But yeah, even with friends, can you love me through the good times? Can you love me when things are bad?
Yeah, and that's the thing about it too. A lot of people, we have different love experiences, right? We have the good ones and you have the challenging ones. The one that challenges you so much challenges who you are as a
Yeah,
person, right? And both of them, both teaches you.
yeah.
Both teach you. One teaches you less is because you're in love and you're happy. So you're not looking for the lessons in it. You're just looking for the love in it. So, but the challenging ones, those are the ones you kind of like, what can I learn from this? Right. So, what are
Hmm.
some things that you've learned during your love experience?
Things that I've learned during my love experience to speak up. Some of us stay in situations because if you have abandonment issues, you probably don't speak up because of fear of missing out on the relationship or the potential of the relationship. So,
Mm.
now there are times where everything doesn't need a response, but then there are some times where you almost have to speak it, even afraid, no matter what the outcome is going to be. If you have an expectation, speak it because that person cannot read your mind. So speak that expectation. And if they are able to meet it, great. If they are not able to meet it, God bless.
That's true, because a lot of people, they hide a lot of their expectations and what they really want is because I think a lot of people don't want to start over, right? And they want
Yeah.
love so bad they rather compromise or sacrifice who they are just to be loved a little bit, so they stay silent,
Whew.
and that
Just
silence
yeah, and you're
can,
getting crumbs. So
oh,
to be loved a little bit means I'm getting crumbs. You're not giving me all that you would give me. You're not giving
mhm.
me all that you can give me. And because you're not, I need to go someplace where I can get a full meal.
Yeah, yeah. And I like that crumbs. You know,
You're giving
nobody
me
wants.
crumbs.
Yeah. So when if that person is giving you crumbs, like what can you do in that love experience, right? Can you like have that conversation? Can you communicate? What would be the best approach for someone giving you crumbs?
You need to have a conversation, pray about it, because maybe it's like, okay, I'm just telling y'all what has worked for me in the past as far as before I say something, I pray about it, right?
Mhm.
But then sometimes God will move on that person's heart and they'll come to me about something. And it's like, God, thank you so much. Because I did not have the
Mhm.
nerve to maybe initiate a conversation. That's first and foremost. Sometimes God would be like, all right, girl, I'll help you out a little bit. But it's literally having a conversation. If like say for instance, something I experienced recently. I need conversation, especially if we don't live in the same city, right? I need conversation. So I have to tell the person, uh, texting is cute, but I need conversation. I need to hear your voice. To me, that's how I can connect until we're
Yeah,
able to see each other again. You know
yeah.
what I mean? And you give that person, now that they hear you, you give them a chance.
Yeah, yeah. And I tell people that all the time. You cannot build a relationship off of text messaging. A lot of people, they like to text, 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 text. I can't feel you. I can't feel your feelings. I can't feel
Yeah.
your emotions. I don't know what you're thinking because I'm
Yeah.
reading that text message in my mind. So I
Yeah.
can read it rude.
Yeah.
I can read it angry. I can read it upset. So you have to kind of speak to me on the phone and communicate with
Yeah.
me, right?
And
So
and I'm like, this is my first time in my dating experience dealing with that. And
yeah,
so I've been like, yeah, I'm good.
yeah. And a lot of people that turns a lot of people off because I think, especially after quarantine and after the pandemic, people want the human interaction, and that's why a lot of people go outside. They disregard the law is because they're tired of being cooped up, and they feel like, hey, I need to go outside and be with my
Yep.
friends again. Yeah,
Absolutely.
how did you go
Absolutely.
on
Because
quarantine?
it's been working out for me because I am naturally like a homebody. I think I've evolved into an introvert, or maybe I've always been an introvert and didn't know it. But I love being at home. Like, this is my space to recharge. Of course,
Yeah,
I'll go out and grab essentials, or if it's safe. I live in Atlanta right now, and so it's been wide open since Georgia's been open. And so if a cousin says, hey, come to the house, I'll go. But I'm there thinking, okay, in 2 hours I'm going home. In two
mm,
hours I'm going home. I do like being home. So it's worked out for me, and that's just how I've been for years. But my heart goes out to people who need that daily interaction and connection
yeah,
with people,
yeah,
that are going, and it's tearing them up.
yeah, yeah. So tell me about a challenging love experience and how you overcame that. Like something that it was kind of difficult for you to navigate through.
hmm
Like, what were your steps?
I think difficulty navigating through when a person, I don't know if they don't necessarily value who you are and what you bring to the table, your perspectives, your experiences. And before you know it, it kind of just chips away a little bit at who you are, because it's like, I know what I bring to the table. And I don't mean take Michelle Williams of Destiny's Child out. Take out Michelle Williams, gospel singer, Broadway actress. Take all that out. That's cool. It helps things be a little nicer at
Yeah,
times. But take that off the table and just me, what I bring, my experiences. And I think for me, I'm 41 and I'm excited about it. And so I'm coming into a relationship with probably an average of, say, 15 to 19 years extra of life. Because
yeah,
the reason why I say that is because um by 23, 25 years old, you're expected to be married in the average life of, if you graduated high school, you went to college, you get a job, after college, you get married and have kids. So all that's kind of done between 21 and 25, I think. In my upbringing in the Midwest, you go to college,
Mm-hmm.
maybe you marry your college sweetheart, y'all get married, you have kids. That's all done by 25. Well, that didn't happen for me. So I'm coming into something, when you're talking about 15 to 16 years of average of being single. I bought my own houses, my cars. I bought my, like, I know how to change windshield wiper fluid. I know how to, I know when I'm like, oh, I think the air filter needs to be changed.
Yeah.
It's things like that. So and a part of it is me having to sit down. It's me
Yeah.
kind of having to rain. And I think, Destiny's Child, we made it bad because we got a song called Independent Women. I literally am an independent woman. So it's kind of like I need the person to be like, dang, she bad in them areas, not in the aesthetics, right?
Yeah.
But like, I just don't have somebody the man can be like, I just am. It's like she don't need to just sit and wait for me to do stuff. Partnership. It's like I'm your partner, but I know you still lead me. I
Yeah.
think can we have it both ways?
Yeah.
He leads me, but I like that he considers me. He
Yeah.
considers an opinion.
I love that.
He considers me. Yeah, I could have said that 5 minutes ago. Sorry, guys.
But a lot of times people think that, with that submission, that you can't really ask someone else their opinion, because I'm in a state, for example, let me just say, right, as a man, right, if we're saying, hey, I'm a leader of this household, right, and some men don't even consider the opinions or the suggestions of their wife, because they are automatically assume you're going to be wrong anyway. I'm a leader, I will make the decision,
Ooh,
knowing that you're wrong, bro. You're wrong. You're not always right. You're human, right? So sit down somewhere and really, because my wife sometimes she could make, like, if I tell her to read a post and I say, hey, could you edit this for me? If I don't edit my post, trust me, there's people in my DMs. Hey, Keyshawn, you misspelled this word. Before you know it, it's already on 1,000 likes. So I look at it, I'm like,
yeah.
delete, because we have to watch what we put out there, because social
Mhm.
media, people judge you for anything, right? I
Yeah.
can say I
Yeah.
like the color red, and before you know it, why you like red for? That means you like blood. That means you. I'm like, what? Like, no
What?
sense.
Yeah.
But to go back to the part where you talked about value, I think value is very important. A lot
Yeah.
of people, they really don't know the true meaning of value because they don't value themselves, or they don't deem themselves valuable,
That's
right?
good. Ooh.
So at a point in your life when you were at your lowest, how did you like build your, like, how did you like kind of speak to yourself to say,
Mhm.
"Oh, yo, you got to get it together. It's time to go."
That's right. That's right. And was a time in my life, definitely, where I'm like, okay, you got to get it together because the world didn't stop for me.
Mm,
People go on about their daily lives. People care about you. They'll call and check on you. But for the most part, people go on about their lives. Folks got their own husbands, wives, kids, businesses, um, and careers, all that going on. And it was like, you've got to get up. You cannot expect anybody to get you up out of your depression. Get up. You've got all that it takes. You've got the Holy Spirit within you. Act like it. Now, acknowledge how you're feeling. Man, I'm down today. I'm down. You can, acknowledge how you're feeling, assess how you're feeling, maybe try to get to the root of it and be like, okay, what changes can I make? I had to learn this in therapy,
mhm,
and so, I really, really, it doesn't lessen the God in you if you go and get
mhm,
some counseling, you know.
mhm.
Um, I think it makes my prayers more specific when
Yeah.
I've had therapy and I'm like, okay, I can go to God more specifics about things as well after that session.
Yeah.
But it was literally a moment of me telling myself, you got to get up. There are certain things you have more to live for. Rich Tolbert has a song now out called "I'm Alive Because There's More."
Yeah.
You're still here because there's more. You're breathing because there is more.
Mm.
And don't take your life because of something, a temporary feeling or a
Yeah.
temporary situation.
And oh man, whew. I love that, because there is more out there for us on the other side of fear, on the other side of depression, on
On
the other side of
Yeah.
pain, of hurt. There's so much more, but we're blinded by the less that someone gave us, or the
Hmm.
less that we think that we don't deserve.
Yeah.
Right? It keeps us
Yeah.
stagnant, right? And that's the challenging part. And I think that's why a lot of people, right? Because I read so much different things on you and the media and things like that. But my opinion is like you're so strong to push through that. A lot of people, you won't hear from them no more. You won't see
Hmm.
them no more. They'll run and hide. But I think that God is telling you, like, Michelle, I'm sorry, but you got to keep going on those
You
days when
got,
you're like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
got to go.
You got to keep going. And he's like, who do you believe? Me
Mm-hmm.
or them?
Mm-hmm.
What do you believe?
Yeah.
What I say you are, or what they say you are?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh God, forgive me. You say that I'm the head and not the tail. You
Yeah.
say that I'm above and not beneath. You say I'm the first and not the last. You say I'm a lender and not a borrower.
Yeah.
I am made in his image. I'm dope.
Yeah.
Made in God's image.
Yeah.
Come on. I'm his daughter.
Yeah.
So am I going to believe what my father says about me or
Yeah.
what they say? And that's,
Yeah.
who is they anyway?
Yeah. And that's the most powerful part is to understand, know who you are. And I think when I was watching what you call it, what was the movie? I just it's lost me just now. Oh, what was it with Chadwick? The movie. I can't remember,
Black Panther.
Black Panther, right? I can't remember if I got that. What's
Woo!
wrong with me?
You
Maybe
might
one-
you might want to edit this in.
I think I have to. Right?
They gonna
But
get you. I'm just playing.
they
Things can
probably
happen. You literally can lose stuff in your
straight
memory
up thought.
like that. Yeah.
But one thing that the mother said to him in there, he said, "Remember who you are." And I think a lot of us, we need to remember who we are, right? We are a child of God. We was made in his image and
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
likeness. We were put on earth to become victors, right? Not to become a victim. And a lot of us, we have this victim mindset based on what everybody else says around us that puts us in a negative place. And we don't even want to walk no more. We don't want to talk. We're like, God, I don't want to hear you. I'm going to deal with this pain on my own. But God is trying to elevate you. And a lot of us, we try to touch what God is telling us to put down. Like
Come
God
on.
is breaking you up. I don't want you to be with him. I don't want you to be with her. But let me try to make it work. God's like, no.
Yep.
God's like, no. And you keep trying to
Listen.
figure it out.
That has happened to me, and the emotional turmoil that you put yourself through
Yeah.
by holding on to something that God is saying, let go. Now, mind you, what you've gone through, that is not your identity. Heartbreak does not identify you.
Mm,
Depression does not you're not that's not your label. That's something you've gone through, right? And just know that if God is telling you to let something go, if God is telling you to let something go. See, God told me to do that one time in a
mhm.
relationship. And I was trying to play let's make a deal.
Yeah.
I was like, so wait a minute. So God, you saying if I let him go, you gonna bring us back in a few months? Oh, you just trying to test me to see if I can let something go. I know what you doing, Jesus, right?
Mhm.
Crazy thing is that other young man had the same instruction.
Mhm.
The same instruction.
Yeah.
And we didn't do it. And it turned into it. We went through a lot of emotional turmoil that we shouldn't have had to go through. We
Yeah.
are really good friends today,
Yeah.
but we look back at that like we were afraid to let go because you're like, well, this person was on my list. They
Yeah.
checked off everything on my list. And I'm like, God,
You're
you're
looking
telling
like
me to
that.
let this
Mhm.
go? We didn't have no issues. I'm like, what you telling me to let this dude go for?
Yeah.
Me and God, I'm like, God, are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah.
God
So,
sees what we can't.
yeah. Yeah. So, what advice, right, would you give a young man or young woman who's going through a challenging love experience, right? Something that they can't really handle, in a relationship, especially around
Hmm.
Valentine's Day, because
Yeah.
that's tomorrow. What advice would you give someone?
Wow. Well, for me, everyone kind of knows. I had a situation. It was my engagement. It
Mhm.
failed. And I used to hear people say, oh, it's going to be okay. Time is going to heal. Time did not heal. Okay.
Mhm.
It's what I did in that time. The counseling, there is a retreat that I went to, and it changed my life,
Mhm.
and it's called Healing the Heart. It
Yeah.
changed my life, and it told me about unmet needs. There are 10 needs a child should have before, and if you don't have those needs met, it manifests itself. The symptoms manifest themselves in your adulthood, right? And so it changed my life. But it's literally, I for almost 2 years I did nothing. It was church, therapy, fitness, church, therapy, fitness, and consistency seems a little boring,
Yeah.
but that's what helped my healing and untethering, doing, but it's what you do at the time.
Yeah.
Those of us that are single for Valentine's Day, it's what you do with that time. It's, to me, it's like any other day. I'm going to keep it real. I'm
Yeah.
Scrooge when it comes to Valentine's Day,
Yeah.
because I've seen men go crazy in the florist shop trying to get those flowers. You knew Valentine's Day was tomorrow. And it comes around it's February 14th every year.
Yeah.
It should be Valentine's once a month, as far as I'm concerned. Or, and people say every day, but
Yeah.
Valentine's Day realistically ain't gonna be every day in people's
Yeah.
households. But it's what I do with the time.
Yeah.
How am I getting closer to God? Am I about not only God's business, but am I about my business,
My bad.
my company,
Yeah.
things that I've got to do? And before you know it, you will look back and be like, I just did it not too long ago. I was like, wow, that
Hmm.
happened in 2018. We in
Yeah.
2021. I made it.
Yeah.
You know?
And I love the fact with the time, we are on the same page. We are on the same page. Everyone always tell me, well, time will heal. But people will comment and give people false information on my page. And they're like, time will heal your broken heart. Time doing what? Because you got to be doing something with your time. Because a chair could sit right there and it'll still be the same chair you'll find a week after that. It won't change. It won't do anything. But if you move the chair, then time, what we're doing with the time is moving the chair. So a
Yeah.
lot of people like, what you doing with your time? When I was going through my mess, it took me 2 to 3 years. I was devastated. The first year was hard.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do the first year. I was still
You think
day one.
men deal with heartbreak worse than women?
Oh yeah. Let me
Okay.
tell
So it took you 2 to 3 years. Because when you said 2 to 3 years, I was like, dang, that's a long time.
you, one of my friends, right? We started going to the bar. I was drinking. I was like, I can't do that. I can't stay in the house no more.
Mm.
I was laying down in my bed all day. I was just crying. Tears was running down my eyes. I couldn't do nothing. Didn't want to work, anything. And then I was writing my first book around that time. And I said, I called 5 friends. They're not saved. They weren't Christian. All 5 of them said, Keisha, why don't you go to church? Why don't you go to church? So I called my best friend.
What?
I said, yo, man, let me, can we go to, I'm going to go to church with you. They're talking up there. Then they said, if anybody want to come to the altar. And something just was in me. Said, Keisha, walk up there. I walked up there,
Mm.
jeans on, Tim's, jacket on,
Yeah.
hoodie on. I was like, all right, what's up? What you want to talk to me about? She started praying for me, right? Pastor Sherry. And when she started praying for me, she was just speaking. Tears started rolling, and I felt something coming
Ooh.
out of me, and I felt something coming in. After that day, I said, I got to do better. So then it was all about God. It was all about Jesus. It was all about reading the word, understanding who Jesus is, his walk of life, and changing the way I talk, my vocabulary, how I speak,
Mm,
how I love, and how I love myself. Because that was the one of the greatest relationship that I didn't have. I didn't love myself too much, and that's why I was doing all this nonsense around here.
yeah,
So it was a beautiful experience. I really feel you when you when you said the time
yeah,
part. That time part is
yeah.
very important. So thank you so much for this time. This was beautiful. I felt like it was just a regular conversation with my
I
best friend
know. Let's
from
do this
Atlanta.
again. You know, I'm here.
Absolutely.
I'm here for you.
So what's some last words that you can give people who are just about their love experience? Just general
Yeah.
information about your love experience.
General information about your love experience is that your love experience, when you got something good, just know it's sacred and just always keep God in the center of it. I don't care what it is. In all thy ways, acknowledge him and he will direct your path. And just know that even if, things are a little rocky and you're single, make the best out of it. Make sure you're doing stuff with your time to be whole so you can make sure that what's coming out of your heart isn't tainting someone else's, because it's basically what I give out of my heart, I'm giving it to you to drink. Do you want to, and what I'm giving you, do I want you to drink it? Do you want to drink it?
Mhm.
So that's just pretty much been my journey, is making sure that what's coming out of me is
Yeah.
definitely what that other person should have and what's right for me to give. So I love you guys, and uh, keep supporting my
What you
brother.
getting
He's
you?
doing big things.
Thank you.
My podcast is out right now. It's called Checking In.
Mhm.
It's on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcast. My book is the same title, Checking In. It comes out May 25th. So that's
Cool.
been my focus. And
Yeah.
so that's what's keeping me sane and happy and excited
Yeah.
throughout Valentine's Day.
That's great. That's great. And we're going to attach all of that book, everything to the podcast
I
too.
appreciate that. I
And those links
appreciate
and
that.
everything. Because I know a lot
Okay.
of people can purchase that book. Yes, that's going to be a blessing to somebody.
Thank
So,
you so much.
Michelle, again, thank you so much, man. You have no
Anytime.
idea. This was beautiful. This was amazing. And we'll definitely have to check in.
Yes,
Shameless plug.
sir. Come
We
on,
got to check
guys.
in again. Thank you.
Anytime. Anytime.